Now, one of them that happens to be on the line with me this afternoon is Kentucky's state treasurer, a guy by the name of Todd Hollenbach. Perhaps you've heard that name before. Hey, Todd, how are you, brother?
I'm great, Terry. How are you?
I'm glad to have you on the show. You are our current state treasurer, correct?
That's correct.
That's a pretty good gig, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good job. It's one of 6 or 7 constitutional offices, and I was fortunate to be elected to it 3.5, 4 years ago.
And do you wear one of those green, like half-a-hat visor things when you're counting our money?
No, I don't, but I'll have to try one.
Yeah, it seemed like that would be the right thing for you to wear all the time with your sleeves pushed up.
Sure, look like an accountant.
Yeah. Now, you know, in the news of late here, we've heard about a Richie Farmer spending money, and people get very upset about that. Now, of course, the Republicans are saying, well, the Democrats, they spent money over here. So a lot of that squabbling is kind of going on right now about who's spending the people's money irresponsibly and so forth. But I'd heard about you that you pay for your own travel and that you do the office legal work that you're able to handle because you're a lawyer, and that you clean your own offices, restrooms included. Is all that correct?
That's all correct. You got to do what you got to do. I had no idea how glamorous the job was going to be when I got elected to it 3.5 years ago, but we're all pitching in to try to get by. You know, the economy's been bad and money's tight, and I think, although a lot of people can't tell exactly what a treasurer does, they all expect you to set an example when it comes to handling the people's money. So we saw that we could eliminate about $35,000 a year if we got rid of our janitorial services contract, so we did.
So the other people in the office help you clean up, or are you just a germaphobe like I am, and then you do it yourself?
No, I'm not a germaphobe, and a lot of my administrative staff does help, and they don't complain. You know, as long as you're willing to roll up your sleeves and get in there with them, pitch in to help, they don't complain one bit. They've been great.
Well, that's just interesting. I just haven't heard of a situation like this where the guy, the elected official, the state treasurer in this case, you, Todd Hollenbach, cleans your own office. You do this every day or once a couple times a week or what?
Well, I take my turn, and it's usually more like once every week and a half for me when I'm doing it. But, you know, we gave up our state car. I gave up my state car when I came into office, and that's back when gas was about where it is now. And you really feel that. But when I'm out traveling the state now, when I'm going to Pikeville or Paducah, I'm paying for my own gas, driving my old van. And when I'm staying overnight at the Holiday Inn, I'm putting it on my credit card and not getting reimbursed for any of it. But, you know, we have to do what we have to do to get by, and I'm proud of the fact that I think I've developed the most cost-effective office in state government. The janitorial service contract, the legal services contract, is costing $50,000 a year, and I'm an attorney by training, so I thought that I could do a lot of the work. If it's something that's major that's going to litigation, I refer it to the Attorney General's office, so we get the state billing right now, but I knocked most of that legal services contract down. And
so you're able, and clearly it's legal for you to handle a lot of the legal work that comes through there, and then, like you said, if something's going to go to litigation, you got to pass it off. But that saves, you think the savings is $50,000 a year?
No, that was the total legal contract. We probably knocked $30,000 of it off every year by me doing a lot of the work myself. We're still spending probably $20,000 or so because we get billed by the Attorney General's office.
Well, that's rather interesting. I'm surprised that this hasn't become a little more prevalent in terms of, since everybody's been talking about who's spending the most money of the taxpayers' money and talking about $359 a night hotel suites and so forth.
Well, I'll tell you why it hadn't become more or better known is because I also, in the only constitutional office holder that did not fill the position of press secretary. I know that government communications are important, but I didn't think I could justify $70,000 a year of the taxpayers' money to hire somebody whose primary job it was to sing the praises of the office and the office holder.
Did you say 70,000?
60 to 70,000.
50 to 70. Okay. I'm just trying to do the basic arithmetic here. If you've taken out the cleaning, you said 30,000 there, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
And then the 50 to 60, let's just say 60, there's 90, and then you're doing legal work of 20, 30,000. Is that what we're talking about?
That's probably about the value, yes, sir.
We're talking about $120 so far you're saving the Commonwealth a year. Is there more?
Yeah, we've got a lot of other things that we did. We got rid of everything. We don't allow any cell phones or BlackBerries or anything like that as an office expense. If my executive staff wants to use a cell phone, it has to be theirs.
So this is like a 19th century office is what you're pretty much telling me. You're traveling to eastern Kentucky in a covered wagon.
That's right.
Well,
it's just pitching in and doing what you have to do. We're in one of the worst economic downturns in most people's recent memory anyway, and the budget's tight. And money's precious, and I'm trying to do what I can to make sure that the office keeps running efficiently and that we do everything we can to save the taxpayers as much money as possible.
So it's the governor who cut the budget, who told everybody they had to cut back so much, correct?
That's correct.
And then what were the marching orders that were given to you as state treasurer?
Well, we've had, like every other state agency, we've had to reduce our budget about 8 times so far. And the budget's been reduced in my office probably 25 to 30%. And that's the same marching order that every other agency got. So we don't get to decide, as treasurer, we don't get to decide where the money goes. We just get to write the checks and make sure it's going where it's supposed to go once the legislature decides and the governor issues the order.
Rather fascinating. Well, good. I'm glad we've crossed paths on this issue because it'll come up again, I'm sure, Todd Hollenbach. I appreciate your time.
And thank you. I appreciate you having me on. And like I said, without a press secretary, other than people like you, there's nobody out there telling the story. So I'm glad.
Well, that's good. All right, you are our state treasurer here in Kentucky, Todd Hollenbach. And is your famous dad still with us here, the legendary Todd Hollenbach, the judge and attorney here?
Yeah. Yeah, he's still young. In fact, he's living proof that 50% of aging has to be mental, because mentally he's still younger than I am. He's got a zest for life and a love of people that keeps him going and keeps him young.
I saw him several years ago, and it's last time we crossed paths. Anyway, we'll tell your pop hello. It's good to talk to you.
I'll do that. Thanks, Terry. Have a good day.
All right, see you. That's Todd Hollenbach, Kentucky State Treasurer, cleaning his own office and restrooms in these very difficult times.
This total traffic update is brought to you by Kentucky Powerball. Skywatch 84 WHAS.
Interstate traffic looking pretty nice this evening as you make the drive around. You do have accidents.